If your baby is 10 months old and still not able to sit up on their own, this content is for you. Because by 10 months, your baby should definitely be able to sit up independently. And so if you're wondering if there are any things that you can do to teach your baby to be able to sit up more independently, you're in the right place watching the right video. Before we get into it, a quick bit about me. If you're new to the channel, my name is Charek Gordon. I've been a pediatric physical therapist for well over 2 decades. I show proactive parents like you how to use simple touch, movement in your baby's natural environment to help your baby catch up with their gross motor milestones. Now, before I forget, I wanted to let you know that I created a free resource for you. It's a free baby milestone checklist. You can print it out, you can download it, print it out, put it on your refrigerator, and be able to track where your baby is from month to month and where your baby should be, so that you know if your baby's on track and when you can need to reach out to get some additional eyes on your baby. So now there are 3 important things that I like to look for when I'm looking at a baby who is already 10, 11, or 12 months old and still not able to sit up independently. 1, I look at baby's core, trunk strength, and stability. 2, I look at muscle balance. Are the muscles in the front of your baby's trunk balancing with the muscles in your baby's back so that your baby can stay upright? And the 3rd one I'd like to look at is, does baby shift their body weight from side to side? Can baby shift their weight and be able to recover? Once I look at those 3 things, then I know what I need to focus on as a therapist. And I'm going to share with you a couple of different activities that you can use at home to be able to address all of those things. So now, if we start off with a baby who is slumped over and not able to sit up independently, one of the first things that I like to do is have baby sitting. I like to position baby seated facing away from me, close to my legs, so that if baby tips over backwards, baby will fall onto my legs, or I'll be able to catch baby. You'll notice that baby has built-in mechanisms in their body that will protect the face. And so if your baby falls forward, a lot of times they will put their hands down to protect themselves or catch themselves from falling forward. And you can see what I'm trying to get him to do is flatten his fingers and just be able to sit there and prop himself up. And now what I'm doing next, the next thing that I'm doing with him right now, is I am showing him by poking him in his back muscles. What I'm doing is waking those back muscles up, activating those muscles. I'm going on either side of his spine, going up and down his spine so that he can activate his back muscles and bring his trunk into more of an upright posture. That's one of the first things you want to do with your little one, is just be able to get baby to feel confident that they can actually sit on their own and maintain their balance while they're playing with a toy, or while they're looking at an object or looking at another person hanging out with them. Now you can see what I'm doing. I'm going up and down his spine, and he's already starting to bear his body weight a little bit better. Now you can see that I am trying to give him the support that he needs, but not give him too much support. This next activity that I'm doing is to coordinate and help baby to activate the trunk muscles on both the front and the back muscles at the same time. Remember that second leg of the triangle we talked about, where baby needs muscle balance on one side of the body compared to the other side, so that baby can sit upright and get those hands up off of the ground. And so I was giving him some downward pressure directly onto his shoulders so that he can start actually being able to balance his muscles and be able to sit upright and start to take his weight and just start to balance his weight. You notice I'm letting his body kind of drift around and kind of move forward and backward so that baby figures out where he needs to position himself in order to be able to maintain his balance and keep his balance as he's sitting there with his hands up off of the ground. And the next thing I like to do is give baby my fingers to hold on to. And this is a way to target baby's chest muscles, shoulder muscles, arm muscles specifically by making my hands nice and firm and letting baby hold on to my hands. I'm cueing him to kind of push his body away from me, from my fingers. You see the way he's did a little mini seated push up there. And this is a way to strengthen his chest like you're doing a baby seated chest press, for lack of a better term. And this is a good way to help him to be able to strengthen his chest muscles and get the hang of being able to sit up and actually be able to play in this position while he is maintaining his balance, while he's moving side to side, shifting his body weight. All of these things happen dynamically, and they happen in conjunction with each other. They don't happen in isolation from each other. They all happen together. One of the things that I like to do is have baby sit and just be able to sit and prop themselves up as I practice taking my hands off of baby's body. So if you're trying to teach your baby to sit up on their own, one of the things that I like to encourage parents to do is just practice taking your hands off of your baby. A lot of times I find parents will tell me, you know what, my baby is not able to sit. And then when I look at the way parents are holding their baby, parents are holding on for dear life and not giving baby the room to tilt and topple and actually lean from side to side. If you look at what I was doing with him right there, look at what I did. His body started to tilt towards his right side, and rather than trying to catch him, I give him a little bit of downward pressure on his left leg, and that will activate the muscles on the side of his trunk to bring his body back up. Now, I'm not saying let him go all the way to where he collapses over, but if your baby starts to collapse and you kind of play around with him, if you look at the way I have his legs open, I have his legs wide apart to increase his base of support so that he has a lot more stability and be able to bring his body back into his base of support. When a baby leans to one side, baby's center of gravity shifts outside of his body and baby tends to lose his balance. Baby needs that trunk strength and stability to be able to bring his body back upright and keep it in an upright position. I'm encouraging him to bang on the toys and play with the toy that he has in front of him so that he can practice lifting one hand up at a time as he builds his confidence that, you know what, I can push off of the ground and let my body take over, let my trunk take over, and just be able to sit there in this position while I am playing. And so this is a skill the baby has to learn and kind of practice and go through it, kind of the old-fashioned way where baby has to wobble around a little bit. As baby gets a little bit stronger, this particular little one here, and you try to teach baby to sit up, like I said, you want to move baby away from your body. I like to encourage parents to put your baby to sit facing away from you. Sit baby in between your legs and sit with your back up against the couch so that you have the stability at your back and so that you don't get tired, you are relaxing, and you put baby to sit facing away from you with baby having a toy in front of him or toys in his hands, and then you go ahead and start to actively practice taking your hands off of your baby and letting baby be able to bear his body weight on his own, and that's how you're going to teach baby to sit up. So let's go ahead and do some things with this little one here. So you can see I'm letting him wobble back and forth. You notice the way his body is toppling back and forth. Every now and again, I might let him lean. You notice I'm letting him lean back against me. And what I'm trying to teach him is that, yes, you have the ability to sit up. And what I'm doing right now, you can see I have both of my hands on his legs. What I'm trying to cue him to do is activate his abdominal muscles, the muscles in that tummy of his right there, and be able to as I give him some downward pressure through his legs, his tummy muscles will kick in and bring him back into an upright seated position. So if he's not doing it, bring him off, move those legs apart, let him increase his base of support, try to find that center of gravity with him, and let him continue to practice this until eventually he will get it. This obviously is not going to happen in one day or in one sitting. What you want to do is practice this a couple of times throughout the day. Let's say every time you change your baby's diaper, you make a little fun game out of it as you have your baby playing in the seated position. Baby is clean, baby's well fed, baby is fresh, he's got a nice new diaper change, and you can see that he is kind of struggling, but I'm trying to give him the responsibility of playing and taking responsibility for his own body weight in space. As he continues to work, he will get stronger and stronger, and eventually he'll be able to sit on his own. You notice the way he was kind of leaning forward there just a little bit, and then those back muscles of his kicked in, and he was able to bring his body back upright. He overshot and kind of leaned backwards onto my body, but that's part of the process of shifting his weight back and forth. This is another little baby I have sitting here. I like to start off with a baby with a low toy on the ground, and then as baby gets stronger and stronger, I will move baby to a toy with a cube, such as this cube, so that baby can sit in a little bit more of an upright position as baby gets stronger, and I just kind of take my hands off of baby. Now you notice where my hands are. My hands are not on his trunk anymore. I'm kind of letting him use the cube as a way of stabilizing his body and shifting his weight front to back and side to side. This baby was wearing a helmet, but we're not focusing on the helmet today. I'll do another video talking about plagiocephaly and flathead syndrome and whether your baby needs a helmet or not another day. But this one is just about him hanging out. I'm increasing his base of support, but I'm trying to take my hands off of his trunk and put my hands on his legs, give him some stability through his legs, but letting his upper body do the work of maintaining his balance, bringing his trunk back up as he's doing battle with his little cube, and he's just sitting there having a good time, but he's in the safety of sitting in between my legs. He's facing away from my body, and he is just able to sit there and kind of play. Eventually, when he gets tired, he'll just lean backwards up against my body and be able to stop and relax and take a breather if he needs to. But you can sit here and do some good quality seated trunk work with your little one as you're building those core trunk muscles. You're working on weight shifting skills. You're building baby's core trunk muscles and stability, and baby's ability to right his body as he is sitting there playing around, having a good time with the cube, and he just thinks that he is having fun playing, whereas we're actually doing some good quality work on his body, on his core trunk strength and stability. Once baby gets to a point where they can sit and maintain their balance a little bit better, I like to start giving baby things to play with and bang together. Now you can see I have her seated, and she is seated. Now you notice I changed her position because she liked to face me, and she would always turn around. So I have a cushion behind her if she loses her balance, and I'm sitting right there with her. I'm engaging her, and I want to show her how to bang cups together as I'm trying to get her to maintain her balance and stay in this position.
Eating with the other hand.
This sitting and banging toys together is a fantastic way of giving her a little neurological workout. The right side of her brain controls the left side of her body. The left side of her brain controls the right side of her body. And so having her sit, banging some toys, these cups together, something that's light, that she can maneuver, banging them together is a good way to get her to sit, maintain her balance by herself, and stay seated. Now, what I'm doing here is I am going to do some deliberate work on her trunk. So what I'm doing is I lean her back onto the couch, and then look at what I'm going to do. I press down on her legs, and now I'm letting those tummy muscles, those abdominal muscles kick in and bring her back up. If you need to give baby a little bit of an assist, give baby the assist, but let baby do some work as she is playing around and she is doing it. She's struggling a little bit, but we want the struggle. We want to see baby kind of struggling and figuring out how to maintain her balance and play around while seated. Now I'm going to show you her, same baby. I have her facing away from me, and I'm going to work on a couple of different positions while I have her seated. I'm going to play around with her base of support and see what her trunk does as I manipulate her base of support. So I started her off, and put her in what's called long sitting, where I just have her legs out in front of her. This makes her base of support a little bit narrower, and you can see her fussing to get those legs apart. She automatically kind of brings her feet apart as kind of a reflexive way of increasing her base of support and putting her legs wider so that she can maintain her balance and keep on playing with her toy. This position here is what's called crisscross applesauce, where I brought her feet in close to her body, and look at how much her trunk started wobbling around immediately as her base of support became smaller, and she kind of kicked out of the position because she does not like that position. It made her trunk feel more unstable, and so I might need to help her to be able to do some more trunk work as we continue playing in this position. Now, for those of you who are on live, I do see your questions. I'm going to answer your questions at the end. Now, those are the exercises and activities that I wanted to cover for you today. I have another video for those of you who want to know what happens after your baby works on sitting and you want to, okay, my 10-month-old is not able to crawl. Check out the next video that I'm going to link to this video, and that's a great video about crawling. So now let me take a look at some of the questions and see what it is that people are asking me. My baby is 9 months old. He cannot sit up independently, but can sit with support. His spine is also C-shaped. Other growth and movement are normal. Head is controlled. What should I do? So to answer that question, I'm going to go back to my original video where I showed you baby slumped over like this. And you can see this baby has more of what the person is talking about, a C-shaped spine, where baby is kind of slumped over. And this just means that baby's muscles in front of his body are pulling baby forward a little bit more than the muscles in the back of his body. So a couple of things. Start off by letting your baby prop themselves up. Even if you work on having your baby propping himself up as baby is leaning forward, this will help your baby to build those chest muscles. Now, this activity that I'm doing here, where I'm cueing baby, I'm poking baby in his back. What I'm doing is there are a series of muscles that run up and down either side of your baby's spine, and you can activate those muscles, wake those muscles up by giving your baby a little poke in the back with your thumbs. One of these days I'll have to do a better job of showing you what I'm doing exactly with my thumbs right there. But you can see I'm using my thumbs to push into the baby's back, and I'm using both hands on either side of baby's spine at the same time as I'm doing this. And right away when I did it, you can see that he started sitting a little bit more upright. Now, this is something that if someone pokes you in your lower back, your body automatically kind of does this thing where you kind of it's a reflex where you sit more upright. And once you start sitting more upright, over time, it becomes your default that becomes baby's default posture, where baby sits more upright as baby is trying to sit and just play with the toys. Or I think I had the parent off off screen looking at baby, and so baby wants to look up at dad while dad was off screen, and you want to balance that with both sides, both the front and back muscles. So this activity where I'm doing, I am pressing downwards on baby's shoulders so that the muscles on the front of baby's body and the muscles on the back of baby's body are activated at the exact same time. And so we have more of a muscle balance as baby continues to work. And I continue to work with baby in sitting in a much more upright position. So if your baby has that kind of C-shaped, this parent said, baby can sit with support. His spine is C-shaped, which means baby has that forward curved posture. These are all activities that you can do with your little one. Let baby hold on to your hands. Start pushing. Start working on those chest muscles. This is about having your baby do some actual work, and a lot of it's not going to happen in just one session. It will happen over time. We're talking about days, weeks, sometimes for some baby, even months. So it's important that we do that and understand that if you do multiple sessions throughout the course of the day, that your baby will obviously improve faster. When I go to parents' homes, I typically see a baby once a week, so I'm working with a baby one time a week. But I tell parents, you are with your baby all the time. You're with your baby throughout the day. Even if you have a job and you come home and you spend some time, even if you do 20, 30 minutes of floor work, notice most of my videos, you will see I'm on the ground with baby. I'm putting in that floor work. This is where the action happens, on the ground. Okay, so that I think would be a good activity for this parents, Mr. Beast and Club. Okay, that's an interesting name. Message me and let me know how baby is doing, and I can probably send you make a specific video for you to do with your little one. Okay, so that is what I would try. The next question said, sir, help me, sir. I'm from Pakistan and too worried about my only son born with IVF. IVF is in vitro fertilization. I actually have a daughter who was a IVF baby, and that should not have any impact on your baby. I would want this person to tell me, oh, this is the same person. Okay, so you know what? Maybe you can send me more of a little bit of a detailed question of exactly what you're so concerned about with your little one, and I'll give you a more detailed answer. Hopefully, this answer helped you answer some of your questions that you had with regard to your little one. Okay, you can see even in this video, as I was working with him, he started to actually in real time show a little bit of improvement. Okay, that is all that I have time for today, my friends. I will see you in my next live. Thank you so much for the questions. I really appreciate them. I read all the comments and I answer every single comment. So I will see you in the next video. All right, talk to you soon. Take care.